Imagine if the entire nation's security was compromised by a single cyber attack. Sounds like a premise for a Hollywood thriller, right? But what if it's not just fiction? What if it has already happened? In the world we live in today, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario. It's a chilling reality. Cyber attacks, once the stuff of science fiction, are now an all-too common occurrence. And they're not just happening in the shadows, they're taking center stage on the world's political and economic arenas. One of the most unsettling examples is the SolarWinds Cyberattack, an event so sophisticated, so far-reaching that it sent shockwaves around the globe. A single, well-crafted piece of malicious code had the potential to compromise the security of an entire nation. This wasn't a simple hacking attempt. It was a carefully orchestrated act of cyber espionage. As we delve into the story, remember, this is not fiction. This is a stark reminder of the world we live in, where the lines between digital and physical security are increasingly blurred. Today, we dive into the chilling tale of the SolarWinds Cyberattack, a case study in cyber espionage. In December 2020, a routine security check by FireEye, a leading cybersecurity company, revealed something alarming. They had been hacked, but this was no ordinary breach. Unbeknownst to most, a cyber espionage campaign of unprecedented scale was in full swing, with FireEye just one of its many victims. The culprit was a malicious piece of code embedded in an update for SolarWinds Orion, a popular network management software. This code, once activated, gave the perpetrators a backdoor into the systems of anyone who installed the update. From there, they could access sensitive information, monitor activities, and even manipulate data. The discovery of this cyber attack sent shockwaves through the cybersecurity community. How had such a massive breach gone unnoticed for so long? The answer lay in the attack's sophistication. The hackers had used advanced techniques to stay under the radar, silently infiltrating their targets while leaving minimal traces of their activities. FireEye's investigators found that the breach had been ongoing for months. The tainted SolarWinds update had been released in March, and it wasn't until December that the full extent of the intrusion was uncovered. During that time, the hackers had free rein to explore the networks of potentially thousands of organizations. The scale of the attack was staggering. SolarWinds software is used by over 300,000 customers worldwide, including government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, and major telecommunications providers. While not all of these customers used the compromised Orion software, and not all who did were necessarily breached, the potential for damage was immense. The initial response to the discovery was a scramble to contain the breach and assess its impact. FireEye worked closely with SolarWinds, law enforcement, and other affected organizations to coordinate their efforts. They released countermeasures to block the hackers' access, and began the daunting task of tracing their movements and determining what they might have taken. The realization that sophisticated hackers had breached FireEye's defenses was just the tip of the iceberg. As investigations deepened, the scale of the attack became clear. This wasn't just about FireEye. It was a meticulously planned, wide-scale operation that had infiltrated numerous government agencies and private companies. The SolarWinds cyberattack was an unprecedented act of cyber espionage. The culprits behind this operation used a software called Orion, developed by the American company SolarWinds, as their Trojan horse. Orion is a network management system widely used by companies and government agencies to monitor and manage their IT resources. By injecting malicious code into updates of Orion, the attackers were able to gain a backdoor into the networks of unsuspecting users. Now let's consider the scope of this attack. Over 18,000 organizations downloaded the compromised update, opening their doors to the attackers. The list of victims reads like a who's who of the American establishment. It includes several federal agencies, such as the Departments of Commerce, Energy, and Homeland Security, as well as major private companies. The depth and breadth of the attack were staggering, reaching far and wide into the vital sectors of the American society. The identity of the perpetrators remains a subject of much debate, although the needle of suspicion points towards a nation-state actor, given the sophistication of the attack. Multiple investigations have attributed the attack to APT-29, also known as Cozy Bear, a hacking group believed to be associated with the Russian government. However, the Russian government has, predictably, denied any involvement. As we peel back the layers of this cyber attack, we see a chilling display of stealth and cunning. The attackers patiently lay in wait, quietly observing and gathering information for months before they were detected. This was not a smash-and-grab operation. It was a stealthy, slow, and methodical infiltration, a true act of cyber espionage. But what does this mean for us? It means that even the most secure networks can be compromised. It means that we are all potential targets in this new landscape of cyber warfare, and it means that we need to be vigilant, always. The SolarWinds Cyberattack was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the devastating potential of cyber espionage. In the aftermath of the SolarWinds Cyberattack, the world was left grappling with its implications. This wasn't just another digital heist, it was a wake-up call, an alarm bell that echoed through the corridors of power from Washington to Moscow, and all points in between. The response from the US government was swift and decisive. The Department of Homeland Security issued bulletins warning of increased cyber threats, particularly from foreign entities. Measures to strengthen cyber defenses were ramped up, and information sharing with private sector partners was prioritized to ensure a united front against such attacks. This marked a significant shift in the US approach to cybersecurity, demonstrating a newfound recognition of its critical importance to national security. But the response wasn't limited to the government. The cybersecurity community too rallied in the face of this unprecedented threat. Private cybersecurity firms like Mandiant warned of increased aggressive cyber activity and worked tirelessly to bolster their defenses and respond to the evolving threat landscape. In the wake of the SolarWinds breach, changes rippled through cybersecurity policies and practices. The incident highlighted the vulnerabilities in our digital infrastructure and prompted a widespread review of security protocols. It became clear that a more robust, more proactive approach was needed to defend against such sophisticated attacks. Congress also took action. Lawmakers began pushing for legislation that would require critical companies to report cyber attacks to the government. This move was seen as crucial to understanding the frequency and methods of such attacks, and to protecting other companies from similar threats. It was a clear indication of the government's commitment to improving private sector cybersecurity. But the aftermath of the SolarWinds cyberattack wasn't just about policy changes and legislative action. It was a shift in mindset. The incident served as a stark reminder of our reliance on digital systems and the potential consequences when those systems are compromised. It underscored the importance of vigilance, of constant monitoring, and of being prepared for the worst. The SolarWinds cyberattack changed the way we think about cybersecurity, emphasizing its importance in our interconnected world. It served as a sobering reminder that in the digital age, we're all in this together, and that only by working together, by sharing information and resources, can we hope to defend against the cyber threats of the future. In our digital age, cybersecurity isn't just about protecting our personal data. It's about safeguarding our national security, our economies, and our way of life. As we've seen with the SolarWinds cyberattack, threats can come from anywhere and can have devastating impacts. From the disruption of essential services to the potential for espionage, the risks are real and ever-present. It's a clear reminder that cybersecurity is not just a buzzword, but a critical element in our interconnected world. Businesses, governments, and individuals are all part of this digital ecosystem. Each of us has a role to play in maintaining its integrity. It's not just about installing the latest antivirus software or creating complex passwords. It's about understanding the risks, being vigilant, and taking proactive steps to protect our digital assets. Cyber threats are evolving, becoming more sophisticated and harder to detect. Our defenses need to evolve too, with continuous learning, adaptation, and innovation. We need to foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness, where everyone understands their responsibilities and the stakes at hand. Remember, in the realm of cybersecurity, it's not a question of if an attack will happen, but when. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay safe.